drummer, do you struggle to play quietly? Are you always being told to turn down? Then this might be the video for you. Hey everyone, it's Tyler here, and today what we're going to talk about is 4 ways that you can make yourself quieter. Now, I'm going to show you how to do these on the kit. Some of these are really simple changes, whereas some of these, they might take a little bit more practice. But either way, at the end of this video, you're going to know how to play quieter. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is making smaller movements when you're drumming. So let's go back to high school. Let's have a look at physics. Force equals mass times acceleration. Now, mass we're gonna deal with a little bit later, but acceleration is what we're looking at, all right? Acceleration in physics terms is described as the velocity changed over a period of time, and velocity involves distance you travel in a period of time. If we minimize the distance traveled, we're gonna essentially make the force go down. Trust me on the math, all right? I'm not a physics teacher. My brother is a physics teacher, but I'm not a physics teacher. But I'm pretty sure this is right. Now, force essentially is how hard are you smacking the drum? If we want a quieter sound, we want the force to go down. Now, you might be thinking, well, duh, of course it's gonna be big motions, loud sounds, small motions, soft sound. I don't need a physics lesson for that. But it's a really simple change that we can make, and it's actually something that a lot of people don't think of initially when they're trying to play softer. They might do it, but they might not automatically think, okay, I've got to make smaller motions. So that's why I thought I'd bring it up so that we can now consciously think about that. All right, so while you're playing on the drums, you're trying to play quietly, the main thing is that you want to be staying relaxed. When you're making these big motions, you feel really relaxed, right? Because it's something that you're really used to. You're able to go. So you're often able to do all those kind of motions really nice and smoothly. So when you're trying to play the same thing, play it really relaxed. Slow things down if you need to, all right? So play, One of the things that you might also be wanting to do is, you might notice when I was playing at the beginning, with the big movements came also a lot of movement in my arm, all right? So what we want to be doing is trying to change that motion to be put right into your wrist and into your fingers, because that's actually what's going to help make the smaller motions. Obviously with the arm, it can only do big things, whereas the wrist and the fingers, they do small motions already. So when you're playing, try and watch your arm. Try and make sure that it's not going to be moving at all. So that's it. Tip number 1, make smaller motions, smaller movements rather than bigger movements. All right, so a bit of a story time. So I was playing a jazz improv gig at a really quiet cafe bar. It was Sunday afternoon. Everyone's just trying to relax. They're just trying to have their drinks, all right? And we want to be playing nice and quietly, just providing background music. I set up my drums, I get my sticks out, and I start playing, and it is so hard to play quietly. And the reason is because I brought 5 B sticks, all right? Now, what I really wanted are 7 A's, nice and light. Now, if you don't know, sticks have a classification. They actually go from like 2, 5, and 7, right? 2 are basically tree trunks, right? They're what mellow drummers use, or they just really want to be hitting hard. They're gonna make a lot more noise, all right? But what I really wanted was the 7s. Now, if you have a look, you can actually see the 7s are the ones on the top. The 7s are actually like a little shorter. You can even tell, if I try and get this lined up, you can even see that the 7s, they're this one on right here. They're actually a little smaller in diameter. They're actually just a lighter stick. They have less mass. Physics. If we go back to our force equals mass times acceleration, the greater the mass, the higher that force is gonna go up. So if we really want to be playing quieter, one of the easiest things that we can do is just go buy a different pair of sticks that's lighter, all right? You don't always need to be playing as hard as you can with the heaviest sticks. Sometimes all you got to do is you just gotta grab 7A or 7B, and then instantly you can play a lot lighter. So that's my second tip. Go grab some lighter sticks. I decided to walk around a little bit for this third point, all right? So as drummers, we tend to play with earphones all the time, all right? At least I do generally. And you know, we've got to protect our ears. It's an important thing. Gigs can get loud. Cymbals and snares and toms can get loud. We got to protect them. But sometimes we're playing gigs. In the case of that little jazz gig I played earlier, it's got to be really quiet. We don't need earphones for that. We don't need to protect our ears because there's nothing to protect from. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a science experiment, all right? Because we're on a science kick. Let's do a science experiment, all right? I'm going to play you 2 clips, all right? Here's the first clip. That was nice, right? Even if I do say so myself, I know I was playing. But that was nice. It was beautiful. The snare sounded great. The cymbals sounded good, all right? Let's have a look at the second clip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so pretty harsh, right? Pretty harsh. It was very gainy. It was just like, it was all over the place. I was like, ah! The first clip is what it sounds like to you if you're wearing earphones, alright? Or you're wearing headphones. That's what it sounds like to you. You think you sound amazing. You sound nice and cool. You might sound really quiet, but you might sound really balanced and all that. But in the second clip, that's what it sounds like to everyone else, all right? You don't realize how loud you are being when you're wearing earphones and headphones. Now, it's a skill to learn how loud you are being and to kind of adapt to that. But if you're trying to play quiet, it's probably easier just to take the earphones out and then you can accurately know what you are actually sounding like. So my third point is take your earphones or your headphones off. Obviously not all the time. You do need to be wearing them at loud gigs, but if you're playing a soft gig or you're trying to practice playing softer, take your earphones and your headphones off. It's gonna make it so much easier to actually, you know, hear what you actually sound like, all right? That's my third point. When you're first starting drums, all right, you're not really necessarily thinking about how everything sounds, all right? You're just kind of bashing away, all right? You're just making as much noise as you can because it sounds like fun, all right? As we're getting more advanced and we're thinking more deeply about how we're actually trying to play quieter, we've got to actually be thinking about the types of sounds that we're making. For instance, on the snare drum, some of you might be doing rim shots, right? If you don't know, rim shot is when you're playing the rim of the snare, if you can see it, rim shot, and the actual middle of the snare, so sounds like that, right? But it's a very loud sound. It just happens to be louder, right? Now you can play them softly, but another thing you can do is just play the snare by itself. It's not as cracky, all right? You can hear. I'm not actually playing any harder or, you know, anything like that, or harder or louder. It's just that it's a louder sound. The other thing that we could be doing is with the hi-hat, all right? Now the hi-hat, sometimes we're, you know, especially rock guys, we're doing. But what we might need to be doing is making it more of a sizzle, or just, you know, just kind of changing the sound that we're using, you know, replacing it with a quieter sound. The last one is like the ride. You know, the ride's a pretty common one. I tend to find that I crash the ride a lot, but when I'm trying to play quietly, I tend to aim for the top of the cymbal, right, with the tip of the stick on the top of the cymbal. Hear the difference, right? I'm not going to play any harder. This is just the difference between how you actually are playing the ride. That's with the tip of the stick, and this is with the edge of the stick. I'm not playing any harder. It's just a louder sound. It crashes. It fills more space than that top of the stick, which kind of gives that more of a pingy sound. So you got to be thinking about the actual sounds of the actual drums that you're playing. That's how you can actually get really quiet without actually doing much. You're just adjusting the actual sounds that you're doing. And that's point number 4. that's it, guys. Those are our 4 ways that we can make ourselves quieter. So we have smaller movements, making use of lighter sticks, avoiding or trying to make sure that we are aware of the fact that we have earphones or headphones on, and the 4th way to make sure that we're avoiding certain sounds like rim shots and crashes and things like that. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any other ideas about how you can make yourself quieter, please leave a comment down below. I'm sure lots of people will benefit from that. And if you really want to, you can subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of other useful material, but also some covers, so you can go check those out. I even have a video right here where I actually talk about how to make your drum kit quieter, so go check that one out. That one is a really special one. All right, bye.